Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of my Survival Let's Play series. In between episodes, I've been doing a lot of farming to get the plots filled in around the windmill, and I've also been collecting a lot of wood for the project that I'd like to complete today. Since we found those villages in the last episode, I think it'd be a really good idea to build a trading hall for them and bring a few of them over so we can start breeding them up and maybe even make a village of our own. Now, I've been having a look around the area and I think I've found the perfect spot just on the other side of these mountains that we can use to set up our village in. So I'll take you over there now and I'll show you what it's like. Alright, so this is the area that I've found that I think would make a really nice spot for a village eventually. So the house is that way, that's the big mountain that you can see from the window. I've just walked through here and then we have this little area here, so I think it'd be quite easy to connect everything together with some paths, maybe a rail system. But since it is surrounded by mountains, I think it'd be also quite easy to secure if I light it up and maybe fill in some gaps to make sure mobs can't come in. So we could just make this entire area into a nice village. But for today's episode, I think the project I'm going to do is make a big villager trading lodge on the top of this hill here. So as you can see, we have this nice area up here that would overlook the village, and I just think that it would make the perfect spot for a trading hall. Now, as I mentioned, I've been gathering some resources to use to build this. So I have loads of spruce and dark oak, and the deep slate is from when I went strip mining in episode 1. Then I've also got some leaf blocks to use to add some decoration at the end. So, my idea for this build is to create a huge lodge-style trading hall because I think it would look really great. So I'm just going to jump straight in and get started. And here we have the villager trading lodge. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and even though it did take me quite a while to build, I'm so glad that I managed to do it because I'm not used to building in survival at all. So we don't actually have any villagers, so there's nothing inside yet, but I'll take you inside anyway and talk you through what I plan to do in there. Alright, so this is the interior of the lodge. This is the bottom floor, and what I'm planning to do in here is to set it up as the main trading hall area. So, along these walls I'll have the little booths where the villagers will be in, so we can trade with them. I'll probably do it all the way around so we can get quite a lot of trading done, and eventually upstairs too. Now, upstairs, to start with, I'm going to have this area as the breeding room. This will be temporary and it's just to keep the villagers safe for now. I'm going to use a simple design by Wattles for this, and I'll leave the link to his video in the description. I don't want an automatic breeder as I don't want it to get out of control, and as this is only temporary, it makes sense to use a simple design. So, since I've got the resources, I'm going to get started with building the breeder. Alright, so I've just started by building this simple platform that I'm going to put the breeder on top of. Now, for the breeder, I'm going to start by marking out the area where the villagers will be kept. I'm just using light grey stained glass to keep it simple here. So I've got this 2x2 space where the villagers are going to go, and then I need a gap at the front so the baby villagers can run out. But the rest has to be 2 blocks tall so the adult villagers can't escape. Alright, so in front of this I need to mark out the water stream where the baby villagers will go. So I'm just going to dig away some of these wooden planks and mark it out. Right, so to get the baby villagers in here but keep the adult villagers in there, we need to trick them into thinking they can come out here even though they won't be able to. So we put a trapdoor here and another trapdoor here. So they'll think that they can run through here, but they can't, but the baby villagers will fit through, come in here and fall into here. So now that's done, I need to mark out another water stream going in the other direction. Right, so that's pretty much everything. We've got the 2 water streams and the bit for the villagers to stay in. So now I just need to add the bit for the minecart collection system on the side and it should be done. Alright, so this is our little villager breeder design that we're going to use to actually breed up the villagers that we can use for trading. So, like you've just seen, it's just really simple design. I'm going to have 2 villagers in here, I'm going to drop food down to them, then the baby villagers will run through this gap, get taken by this water stream here, but get stuck. Then once they've grown up, they'll get carried up into this one, over to this, and then I can take them away in a minecart and put them wherever I need them to be. So that's about all there is to it really, and I've also added these beds because you need beds to be able to breed the villagers. So the next step, which is probably going to be the hardest step, is to go to that village that we found and actually transport the villagers here. I'm only going to get 2 because it's not worth multiple trips getting loads of villagers when we can breed them ourselves, so let's go and get us some villagers. Right, so my plan is to get the villagers from this village and bring them over to the trading lodge. Now, it's definitely not going to be easy considering we have an entire mountain to go up, but what my plan is I'm going to get the villagers from those houses there, try and bring them down this hill in a boat, bring them across to here, and then I've dug out a tunnel that goes all the way through this mountain and over to there. So in between clips, I've been crafting up some rails and hopefully we'll have enough to get the villagers over to the trading lodge. So the only thing to do now is to lay all the rails down and see if we can actually do it. Alright, so this is where my tunnel starts. So I'm going to start laying down the tracks and see if we've got enough to actually make it all the way to the lodge. Fingers crossed we do, because I do have quite a lot, but I'm most worried about the powered rails because I didn't have enough gold to make more than 46, so I guess we'll see. So unfortunately I did end up running out of powered rails, but I did manage to get all of the tunnel done, all the way up to the lodge and about halfway down to the water. So what I ended up having to do was I had to go back into the mines and find some more gold. So what I did was I went down into my strip mine from episode 1 and dug around at Y-16 until I found some gold. But what actually happened was I came across a brand new cave system that I hadn't actually been in before, and I even managed to find 3 diamonds. So all in all, it was quite a successful trip, but once I'd got the gold, I got straight out of there because I didn't want to stay down there too long, and this whole rail system has ended up taking way longer than I thought it would. So I'm going to finish off the rails up to the water and then we'll go and get some more villagers. Right, so luckily I'd found just enough gold to get all of the rails down, and I've tested it myself in a minecart and it works. I get all the way there without getting stuck. So I have had a bit of change of plans. I'm going to go to this village instead of the one up on the hill, because it'll be so much easier to get a villager in a boat from there and bring it across to here than it would be to get one all the way down the hill. So I'm going to go over there and try and get a villager. My plan is to bring it over in this boat here, get it out of the water here and hopefully into the minecart without any problems, send it straight off to the lodge. I'll follow it in a minecart behind it and hopefully it'll work. So fingers crossed, because this has taken me a really long time to get sorted. So I went over to the village in my boat to try and bring a villager back. It was quite easy to get a villager into the boat because there were so many around, but I quickly learnt that you can't get a boat off a path onto a full block, so I had to remove any full blocks that were in the way and dig out a new path to the ocean so I could get over there. Once that was done, it was easy to get the villager into the ocean and over to the spot that I'd marked out. But once we arrived, that's when it all went wrong. For some reason, I just thought the villager would cooperate and not try to run away, which was really silly of me because of course the villager would want to run away. So I spent ages trying to get the villager back into the bit where the minecart was, but the worst part was yet to come. Right, so after a lot of struggling, I finally managed to get the villager into a minecart. So I'm going to send him off up there and follow him in my own minecart, and hopefully we'll get there safely. So let's just try and push him onto... oh no. Things did not go well with Villager 1, but I've learnt from my mistakes, I've rectified my mistakes, and I'm going to try again. So let's try again properly now. So again, I went off in my boat and over to the village. I grabbed the first villager I saw and took it back over to the spot. Things went a lot better this time, and I managed to get the villager into the minecart and off up the hill. But of course, something had to go wrong. Oh no, oh no, the sheep! No! Oh, this is a nightmare. I'm so tired of this. Luckily it was a quick fix and I managed to get the villager into the breeder safe and sound. Yes, we have our first villager in the breeder. Now, things did go quite wrong, but hopefully for the next villager, things will go smoothly and we won't have any disasters. Right, let's go and get one more and then we'll never speak of this again. And for the next villager, it was really easy. I went over there, grabbed a villager and brought it over. Got it into the minecart, up the hill and through the tunnel and safely into the breeder. Alright, so we finally got our 2 villagers in here and I've been playing around with the design for quite a while because at first it wasn't working and that was my fault because I'd filled in these blocks with glass and I wasn't supposed to, so entirely my fault. I got it working and as you can see, we have a baby villager down in the water stream. So when he grows up, he'll get sucked up there and taken over there and we can get him in a minecart and take it wherever we want to go. So this design is working, thankfully, but this is only temporary. I'll probably make this floor part of the trading hall as well eventually, but the only reason I built this breeder above where I'm going to put the trading hall is so I can keep the villagers safe because we don't actually have any other buildings around here at the moment. But I'm glad it's working, I'm glad we're getting villagers, so I think in between this episode and next episode I'll be breeding them up and taking them downstairs and trying to set up some trading. But that's all we have time for today. We did get quite a lot done in this episode though, and now that we have some villagers we can get trading to get some more XP and some better items. In the next episode, I'll be building up this area a bit more, setting up the villager trades, and we'll go into the nether to try and get some blaze rods. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video and are looking forward to episode 4. If you have, then please leave a like and consider subscribing if you're new here.